Um, what's up, man? Today I'm gonna cover some of the more thing. I'm gonna add some extra things in terms of quarterly shift. Okay, quarterly shift concept. How does it work? Okay. Um, okay. First of all, before that, I used to spend like a lot of time trying to figure out like what is the quarterly shift. Like, if every shift in the daily chart, if every move on the daily chart where it just breaks of structure and then change its direction, then it's a quarterly shift. But apparently, like he said, every 3 or 4 months, and it can last up to 6 months. So, I mean, like every 2 or 4 weeks, the daily chart will shift, right, back and forth, break of structure, like this. Every time the daily chart challenges its low, it's a break structure lower. Every time it challenges the high, it's break structure higher. Yeah. But it seems like it's not the quarterly shift. It's not the personality or the characteristics of a normal quarterly shift, because usually it has to last up to 3 or 4 months or even 6 months. But okay, for example, when I see this, when I see like prices going up like this, right? It's a quarterly shift bullish, okay? But the daily chart just breaks structure lower like this. I count it as a quarterly shift bearish, but it was apparently it was wrong. So the thing that I figured out was like not every break of structure on the daily chart is a quarterly shift, but it has to be visible. So if they did a range video, month 5 mentioned that this shift has to be very visible, and most of the time, um, this break structure lower, it has to challenge an intermediate low. Okay, so what is an intermediate low? Like this. Intermediate low is a low where it's surrounded with at least two higher lows from both sides of it. This is an intermediate low. Okay, it has two higher lows next to it from both sides of it. This is an intermediate low. Okay, so when price breaks structure lower like this is not a quarterly shift. Okay, but when it starts to challenge the intermediate low and then keeps just breaking the structure, okay, and every time it breaks structure higher, it gets punished right away and start aiming for the short-term low or intermediate low. This is a quarterly shift, okay, and we're talking about the daily chart, okay, the daily chart, which means every break of structure higher like this, okay, it challenges the high, short-term high, unimportant high, okay. It can break structure like this and go higher, retrace higher to the premium of this range and challenging its high on the daily chart, but it's not quarterly shift bullish. Okay, the quarterly shift, it's still bearish. The quarterly effect is still bearish, but it can just shift up and challenge its high. Okay, and then it gets punished right away and go further. Or it can do this. It can do this. Keep challenging high, but it has not challenging this high. This high is also an intermediate high, okay, because it has two lower highs next to it, right? It doesn't challenge this. It doesn't challenge this high and break structure down right away. This is a quarterly shift bearish, okay? It just keeps seeking bearish or sell stops, or it just breaks structure lower like this. On the daily chart, this officially counts as a quarterly shift. Okay, many times. So yeah, so when it challenges the intermediate low on the daily chart, many times this low is also a swing low on the weekly chart. Okay, so for example, like this, the daily chart, it can have like, it can have like multiple swings and stuff, but on the weekly chart, it just breaks structure lower. This is this one. This is this one. Okay. So on the weekly chart, just like two swing, higher, lower, and then break structure. So the quarterly shift many times is a weekly break of structure. Understand? Like challenges, when the weekly chart challenges its high, low, and it starts to shift direction. And on a daily chart, it just starts to break structure and keep seeking lower low, and start seeking short-term low. But the daily chart can break a structure, up, challenge its short-term high, retrace back to premium, and then keep being bearish because the quarterly effect is still bearish. Okay, the quarterly shift, it's still bearish. Okay, then we can just position trading in this direction. Then it can last up to 3 or 6 months. Okay, like before that, I was like spent so so much time just figure it out. What is this? What is a quarterly shift? Because like, okay, for example, like this, the market has been bearish, right? So I just kept looking for sell and stuff. But when the daily just shift up a little bit, I thought it was like a quarterly shift bullish, but apparently it's not. You know, the daily can just like shift back and forth like this, challenges short-term high, and then it gets punished right away like this. The quarterly shift is still bearish. Okay, not like, okay, the daily chart shift bullish like this, and now the quarterly shift is bullish. I'm gonna start looking for buys now. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, it's just keep being bearish. On the way that it's going bearish like this, usually it's a weekly break structure, and it kept on challenging the intermediate low. Okay, that's it. What's wrong with my brain now? I just can't make up sentences right now. I think it's due to lack of sleep. I can't just speak English properly. All right, so this is a quarterly shift. Okay. Now let's look back to the real example. So the quarterly shift, you can see it's bearish. Okay, it started break structure lower like this. Okay, and challenging this. Okay, this low on the weekly chart. This, when it shift like this is a quarterly shift bearish. Yeah. Okay, now remember it's in July. Okay, so at least to October or November it can shift up, or I'm expecting another shift. It can be consolidating. I don't know, let's see. Okay, so from this we're still looking for sell. Okay, 2014. Okay, the day it can break a structure like this, yeah, and go back to the weekly premium. Okay, the thing with the quarterly shift is that when it breaks structure and the quarter effect is bearish, it's not like we're gonna just look for sell. Okay, when the daily shift back, break structure high, we can just look for buy and retrace back into fair value, PDRA here. It's like month one fair valuation video, when the 4 hour just breaks structure up like this, and it's gonna go back to its bigger range, which usually is a daily range like this. We can buy back. Okay, it's protecting this position. It wants to go higher, at least to the fair value gap, order block, something like this, or looking back as the weekly fair value gap, weekly breaker, and something like this, and then it still go down. It can go down. The quarter is still bearish. Okay, we can still look for buy here until it breaks structure a little lower. Let's see. Look at this. You come up here, filling this fair value gap, and now it starts to break lower. Okay, challenging the low. Now I'm gonna look for sell. Okay, until it breaks structure up like this, then it's likely to be the quarterly shift bullish, because this is an intermediate high. Yeah, it looks very significant. When it shift up like that, then probably it's a new quarter. Okay, but now see, we're looking for bearish. Now it's just gonna look for lower lows. Yeah, see. So before that, I always thought like, okay, when the daily shift like this challenges its high, it's a quarterly shift bullish. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense, right? I thought like the quarterly shift, usually it goes with the position trading, which is catching the move that can go up to like more than 500 pips. It can be like 1,000 pips. Okay. Then this move doesn't make any sense. This is like a worm to its normal move. Okay. How can we catch this quarterly shift bullish? But it's not. Okay. It's not quarterly shift bullish. It's just like the daily shift up to gather more orders here, to get more premium, and then break structure down, and then we keep being bearish. Okay. The thing is, it's very easy to get complicated with this, but the thing is, not every break of structure on the daily is a quarterly shift. Okay, it has to be visible. It has to challenge the intermediate term high. Okay, a high that looks very significant, and a huge displacement on the daily chart, coupled with SMT divergence with bond market, other markets also, EURUSD, if we're looking at the DXY market or something. Okay, and many times that move challenges its intermediate term high is break structure on the weekly chart. Okay. That's it. That's the sum up everything. Okay, the quarter is still bearish. It starts from July, so we're framing the next shift is going to be October or November, but it can last up to 6 months. Remember, the quarterly shift can last up to 6 months. Okay, 3 to 6 months, as ITC have said. Okay, now if it breaks structure higher, is this a significant high? Is this a significant high? It is. Right? And many times it It is the weekly swing high. See? Okay, when it breaks structure like this is a new quarterly shift. And then we're going to just frame, okay, now break structure like this. Quarterly shift is bullish. The next 3 or 4 or 6 months, it can last up to 6 months. It's going to go up to this weekly premium and filling all this gap, breaker, and on the monthly chart, it's going to go up here, gaps, order blocks, something like that. And then this move, we can catch bullish and position trade, catching hundreds of pips, okay, 400, 500 pips, position trading, 800 pips, okay. On the monthly chart, look, it has been bearish for like 3 months. Now it can go up for like 3 more months. This is a quarterly shift, okay. This is a quarterly shift. If it breaks structure up, then it's a quarterly shift. If it doesn't want to challenge the high, then, or it can consolidate. This quarter can be consolidating until, okay, October, until January, and then it breaks structure up, okay. So this quarter only consolidating, okay. Look at this. Maybe it's just like a quarter. Okay, so now it starts a new quarter already. From July and October, 3 months, right? October consolidating for roughly 3 months. Sometimes it can be 2 months, okay? Let's be clear. Sometimes it can be more than 2 months, like close to 3 months, and then it shift, okay? It doesn't have to be exact 3 or 4 months. Look, the quarter effect is consolidating for 3 or 4 months. Okay, now break structure. Okay, the new quarter starts at January. Now it's shift. You can see it challenges all of these intermediate and low, and on the weekly chart, it's a fearless swing, break structure up, break structure down. Okay, so 3 months down, 3 months consolidating, and 3 months down again. You clearly see. Okay, not every move break structure on the daily chart like this is a quarterly shift. Okay, but we can still buy it in this situation where it breaks structure higher and wants to seek the fair value, wants to seek premium, okay, fair value of the market. And then when break structure lower, then we're going to keep being bearish again, right? Not every break structure on the daily is a quarterly shift, bullish. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now break structure lower. Now we're going to just look for lower, okay? The daily just go higher to fill this gap, come into the premium array, and then displacement lower. Now we're going to look for bearish. Except for one scenario. If the daily chart just is consolidating here a little bit and then breaks higher. This is an intermediate term high. Okay? And it's very visible. You can see in this chart. When it breaks structure higher on the weekly chart, usually it's a swing high also. Then that's a quarterly shift bullish. Right? But for now, it's just going to frame bearish. Okay, now see? See? It came down to the low, swept this low, okay, it's bearish. Now it breaks structure higher on the weekly chart. Look, weekly chart breaks structure. Now this can be potentially, I'm not going to say like, yeah, it's going to be a quarterly shift. Potentially, we have to look at other aspects also, such as fundamental, interest rate, the bond market, SMT divergence, and the C210C, you know. We have to look at all the other aspects also, but for now I'm just going to focus on solely on this problem, quarterly shift. Okay, this is counted as a quarterly shift, new quarterly shift. Okay, potentially quarterly shift. Now we're just going to look for high highs, buy stops and stuff here, and all these highs. Yeah, if it breaks lower, the daily can break lower like this to come back to fair value, and then break structure up, then we can just buy again, you know. So before that, I thought like, okay, the daily chart came here and then break structure lower. This is a quarterly shift bearish, but it's not, right? The quarter is still bullish. It starts from March or February, so we expect at May or June is going to be new quarter. Yeah, May or June. Okay, the daily can break down like this, but when it challenges this low, it looks like a quarterly shift bearish. Okay, many times it's a swing low on the weekly chart. Look what I've told you about. Now the quarterly shift is potentially can be bearish or consolidating. It looks pretty consolidating right now. Now we can look for lower lows, start attacking all these lows and stuff. Yeah, right? It came up from February, retraced down, challenging all these lows, and came back up again. Lasts for like 3 months, and now it's shift down. It looks so visible. Look on the monthly chart. bearish for 3 months, consolidating for 3 months, bearish for like, yeah, starting from this one, bearish for like 2-3 months. Now 3 months is retraced higher, and now it's going to go lower. So roughly, yeah, roughly 3 months or 4 months. It can last up to 6 months, and it can be like early 3 months. I mean, like more than 2 months a little bit. Okay, but the thing ICT trying to say here is like every 2, 3, or 4 months, the market has to generate new interest inside of the market. It has to shift back and forth, even though it doesn't change the long-term direction. Look at the long-term direction. Monthly long-term direction fundamentally is bearish. The monthly chart, long-term direction, long term is like monthly chart, institutional order flow, all the yearly moves. It's like a yearly move, okay? But every 3 months, see, market can manipulate on a 3-month basis, like intermediate term or short term, compared to long term, okay? See, 3 months down, 3 months consolidating, 3 months down, 2 months down, roughly 3 months down, and then 3 months up, and then now it's bearish again. So for us trader, we can catch this move. Okay, we can participate in this move using position trading first and foremost, using position trading or other disciplines of trading also. We can know the direction of the high time frame. Okay, of course we have to use the monthly and weekly chart for PD array, but using the daily chart, looking at the daily chart, with this aspect, we know the high time frame long-term direction for 3 to 6 months. Okay, it gives us more clarity, more insight about the market. That's what I'm trying to say.